Hey folks, this clip is brought to you by the fastest growing sports book in Tennessee, ZenSports. And code A to Z TN, ATOZ TN to earn a welcome bonus that gives you 5% cash back on your total betting volume for your first 15 days of betting. That is ZenSports. Some of these.
A lot of good comments.
I mean, it's tons. Obviously, tons of people watching right now. Let's just start here. Peyton, disappointed. David, outcoached. Ryan, terrible. David, defense. Again, this is one word for how you're feeling currently. Florida 29, Tennessee 16. Whole, set of games still up in front of you for this season. John says, mind blown. Demarius, frustrated. Chris says, numb. I feel that one a little bit after all these years. Garrett, uninspired. Chris says one I can't read, but it means he doesn't feel good. Levi says disappointed. Yeah, a few disappointed here. Disgusted from Jason. Refs from Sean. Crump, you already brought that one up. Brian says shame. I'll throw it to you, Crump. What's your one word for how you're feeling after that one?
I never thought I'd end up saying this with this. I wouldn't say like full staff, but with Heupel, outcoached. And it hurts even more that it was by Napier. But that I'm going outcoached just because the simple fact of I don't know if we cover enough scenarios, and I know coaching's hard to cover everything. Regardless of the referee kicking the ball on 4th and 1. I said this Heupel's first year. You can go back and watch it. No matter if we're in a shotgun offense, man, I'm not a fan of shotgun 4th and 1 or under.
Never. It's Butch Jones stuff. It's what Butch.
You know what I'm saying? Like and I'm not even bringing him into it because that honestly a lot of coaches do it.
It was just one of my biggest bones that I picked with Butch Jones.
We've got a 6'4", 6'5", whatever, 240-pound quarterback just fall forward for half a yard. If we're going to do the shotgun deal, then to me, it needs to be a quarterback run. That's just me.
Yeah.
We've done that since he's been here, though. So he's consistent with it. I'll say it that way. I don't agree with it, though, just because, especially with the size of Milton, fall forward, that situations like that is where I think we get out coached. Regardless of what happened with the referee kicking the ball and them subbing in, if we go under center, we do not get knifed at the tackle and we don't give up negative yards and turn the ball over. If we score there, it is a one-score ball game. Who knows?
Yes, it would have been a whole new game.
Who knows what happens at that point?
Yeah.
Obviously, we didn't, so we know the outcome. That's where situations like that I go, that's where we got outcoached.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts a lot, and I completely agree. I mean, 100%. It just was. I still genuinely believe this. Yeah, he kicked your butt tonight, but Billy Napier, I think long term is essentially Florida's Pruitt or Butch. I don't think he's going to work out there. I don't. I mean, maybe come back, clip this if he wins a national championship in 3 years. I don't know, but he just doesn't. He just doesn't seem like that guy. And you couldn't even beat that dude in the swamp. And not only that, you got outcoached by that dude in the swamp. And it's just really sad and really unfortunate. And especially with the way that at times Heupel has really outcoached a lot of other guys. He's really brought an edge where I've said that I trust him implicitly. And this makes that tough to make that claim anymore. A few more here. One word for how you're feeling at the moment. Drop it into the comments again. Pat says embarrassed. Jeremy says figures. Frustrated from another Jeremy. Lola, mad. Ashton, forward. Expected says performance. Miles. Elias says his one word is Jalen. Greg says hypeless. That's a good one. A lot of disappointed.
Actually, that was actually pretty creative.
Yeah, hypeless is good. That's a good one.
Pretty creative. I got Andrew, that one.
Oh, Devin, I think this was probably before you even did that segment, but he said outcoached, ashamed from Lucas, frustrated from John. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go. I got too many of them running around in my head right now. because it's just a lot. I'll say it's cautious, because what I want to talk about here is what happens going forward. And now I was so excited about this season because I really thought I didn't necessarily think that Joe would have this great breakthrough, but I didn't think it was gonna be this bad. And the real shame of that is that I know a lot of people are disagreeing with this right now, but the real shame is that it really starts with the trenches. The offensive line is not great at the moment. The defensive line is not as good as we were hoping after those first two games where you're leading the nation in sacks. The defensive backs don't seem to have gotten much better at all against real competition. And then you get to Joe Milton. I mean, I think he's almost like third, fourth on that priority list there. And so just going forward, I mean, my entire take is just cautious. I can't have the hype. I can't have the hope that I had at the beginning of the season. I am, in fact, hypeless, just like that commenter said. And that makes me want to stink and throw my computer through a window, because this is just, I thought it was there. I thought they were gonna at least meet the expectation of being able to go in and beat Florida in the swamp. I did. Did I think they were going to turn around and win a national championship? No, they're probably not. But I thought you were beat Florida in the swamp worthy, and they're not. And not only that, I mean, you lost by 13 points and you looked fairly incompetent and kind of pathetic for most of the game. So I'm ill. I'm afraid that's it. Just ill, because it's just the worst. This just sucks so much. And you lost, in my personal opinion, from the things I've seen, you lost to their Butch Jones. If I said this in my prediction before this game, if not now, when? Seriously, if you can't do it at this point, when Florida is at the lowest that they've been in however long, with a quarterback that in the second half didn't have a working hand, if not now, when? I don't know. Because it doesn't seem possible, frankly. But I don't want to get too hopeless. You got a lot of season in front of you. So let's move on.
Granted, this is game number 3.
It is. You can't get too disparaged.
Hey, let's go this route then. Did Georgia look good today? Hell no. Did Alabama? Hell no.
No.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, it's all still in front of you.
That's the whole point. Now, are we technically 2 games back from Florida in the East? Yeah. Sad. But Florida still got to play Georgia, right? Now we got to, whenever they play South Carolina, we got to be, I hate to say it, we got to be South Carolina fans. Ain't nobody like that. Just call that like it is. Everybody hates that, right? They still got to play LSU.
Man.
So there are still honest 3 potential, like, really good losses. And I wouldn't throw it past Arkansas. So it's not like the East race is done. Yeah, now, granted, we still got to play a couple of those teams. You know what I mean? It's just everything's in front of us. We just have to get better. We have to stop making mistakes. We have to stop starting 1st and 15. Is that on Joe? No. Snap the damn ball.
It's
legitimately snap the ball when he snap the ball. So 1st and 15 is, I promise you, is a lot harder than 1st and 10.
There is real
that
hope.
Is statistically proven.
I tweeted this near the end of that game. I said that second half tells me that there is a competent version of this offense in there. It does exist. How does it get unlocked? I do not know. I know getting Cooper Mays back, to sort of what you're saying there, that could be big.
That helps tremendously.
Yes. I'm not even sure where to start. Well, let's go here, because people were asking about it before we do get to the rattle and snap stat of the game, and I go get a bottle of whiskey and drink straight out of it. It's football season, and it's time to switch to ZenSports, the fastest-growing sports book in Tennessee, changing the bonus game with their cash rewards program. When you sign up for ZenSports with code A2ZTN, ATOZTN, earn a welcome bonus that gives you 5% cash back on your total betting volume for your first 15 days of betting. And if you have friends who bet on sports, share your ZenSports referral bonus code with them, and you will earn 3% of their betting volume for their first 6 months of betting on ZenSports with no cap on how much you can earn. So what are you waiting for? Stop wasting time and money on other sportsbooks when you could be earning real cash rewards with ZenSports. Download today on the App Store at ZenSports.com. And your wallet will thank you later. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-889-9789. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 or older in Tennessee to bet. That is Zen Sports. Go download it now. This defense. I said it at halftime. Willie Martinez has had a pink slip coming down the bike for a while now. Is it going to happen midseason? No, it's not.
I don't see anything like that happening.
No. That's not going to happen. But if it doesn't improve, let's face facts here. He's got to be the first in that line of dudes that take the blame for this. Tim Banks is right there. Obviously, he's the leader of the entire thing on the defense. And you do have to look at that. In this second half, I mean, Florida folded it up. Yeah, the defense played well in the second half, but Florida ran 3 plays in that entire half, and it was just run right, run left, run up the middle. Like, just, it was nothing. And so I'll just throw it to you. Where do you go? What are we doing?
I'm trying to not let it sound too like elementary here. We got to go back to square one and learn how to freaking tackle.
Sad.
I'm just going to call it like a spade here. I would love to know the stat of how many broken tackles they had tonight, or not necessarily broken, but like actual. We had the opportunity to tackle and we got juked. You know what I mean? Where that should be a tackle type deal. Not necessarily we had our hands on you, but I also would like to add those in because there were plenty of those. So legit, we got to go back to the basics, man, on defense. I love our little cheetah and rabbit package that we can get pass rush, blah, blah. That works on 3rd and long when you know they're throwing it, right? But I've said it for 2 years now. Haddon's a liability, and if that's the best corner we can get at the University of Tennessee, we need to recruit a little bit better. I've said that for 2 years.
You're not wrong,
guys. It's really, really now starting to show its head. You know what I mean? And hey, is he a better athlete than I am overall? Yeah. But I'm not a DB. You know what I mean? I'm not playing corner in the SEC. So we've got to do something. I mean, honestly, we got to do something in the secondary. The front 7, when our secondary holds up, the front 7 looks better. I mean, they do. Our front 7 does get pressure. But when we get pressure and they can still get the ball off to a wide open receiver, because, for instance, on it was 3rd and in the first half, it was 3rd and 5 or something. They send number 1 in motion. We're in man. Let that sink in. Man means if that guy goes to the bathroom, you follow. That's how you teach them.
Yeah.
If they go to the concession stand and get a bag of popcorn, go eat a bag of popcorn. and literally just looked and thought somebody else was going to take him. They hit him in the. It wasn't even, by the way, it was the play where they threw him a bubble. It was a run play. It was a run play. QB sees it, pops up, throws the bubble, corner gets blocked. It's a first down because we're supposed to have a guy run with him. We didn't run with him. That's on our secondary. Yes, is that on our coaching, D coordinator and secondary coach to go, hey, we got to do this better? Yeah. But also, when they call the right call, you got to execute it. If he goes man, by God, you got to play man. You can't just make stuff up as you go on the field. And sometimes defensively in the secondary, it seems that we do that. That's where my issue comes into play. Like on the offensive side, yes, all of our routes are option style routes. So those are quote unquote, like I'm going to say wing it, but it's not wing it. If you know what I mean? Like you actually, hey, if he's here, you're running this, blah, blah, blah. You can't do that in the secondary. You can't wing it in the secondary. You got to play the coverage called. And it's like sometimes our guys out there are just winging it in the
It
secondary.
sure looks like it.
And that's where my frustration comes in, because I said to halftime, guys, we can't score points if we only have 20 plays in the first half or 22.
I mean,
We got to get off the field on third down. You know, there were 7 of 8 on third down in the first half. 7 of 8.
It's absurd.
7 of 8. Guys, third down, they call it the money down for a reason. It's where you get off the field.
I
mean, come on. Let's see. That was 88%. 88% on third down. That's not conducive to winning football games. Sure as hell not in the SEC.
And against a guy who 2 weeks prior couldn't throw a pea in the ocean.
You know what's funny? I looked at his stats. Dude, he only threw for 166 yards. He was 19 of 24. He was effective when he needed to be effective. He didn't throw. They didn't ask him to throw deep. So they just said, hey, find the open guy underneath, just dink and dunk. And some of those were jet sweeps. We have to tackle better.
I mean, God, it's really just unconscionable that you can't, when you think you're turning the corner, the same like classic thing rears its head. You know, they got a bum back there playing QB, and that bum plays like Peyton Manning against Tennessee, like without fail. It's a meme at this point with Tennessee, but it's real. It's a real meme. I mean, it's comical.
Hey, but what did I say last week post game? And I was like, hey, we got to be able to stop the run, right? I'm going to read you these numbers real quick, just of a couple players.
No, don't waste all your stats. We're doing the stat.
Well, no, this isn't my stat.
Okay. It's
just Montreal Johnson, 12 rushes, 23 yards, an average of 1.9. Not that great.
No.
Webb, 2 rushes, 0 yards. Mertz, 4 rushes, -3 yards. ETN, 23 for 172.
Except the big piece of that was a big old chunk run, that first touchdown they had.
Okay, so take that 64 out. Okay. Take out 64, so what would that be, 108?
100 on 22.
Still over 5 a carry.
God. That can't happen.
We didn't stop the run because we it's like we forgot how to tackle. That's where my issue is with the defense. We stop ETN at all in the run game, and it keeps them off the field on third down. We have a chance to win the ball game, but I don't know. We take bad contain on edge pressure. You got to have an A gap, B gap, C gap, D gap player. You got to set the edge. It's like our guy's setting the edge. Like the dude from Colorado State right now, he just got juked out of his shoes because he's going to make the ESPN highlight play rather than doing what you're supposed to do.
Just make the play. That is in front.
Sometimes it doesn't have to be flashy to make the play and get off the field, guys. But that's where it goes back. We talked about it at halftime. If you wrap up, make the tackle, he doesn't get the 62-yard touchdown run, right? Who knows what happens after that? They may score, they may not. They may fumble, they may throw a pick, whatever. But yet you go lead in with your shoulder because you want the ESPN blow-up shot. But by the way, you went against a kid that's slightly bit bigger than you, and he made you look like a fool.
Well, there's so much with the defense that that you could go to.